Hey guys, it's Lemon Jose and welcome back to another review. Today we're going to be reviewing Among the Sleep.
Among the Sleep was a very popular indie horror game that literally every YouTuber played back in the day, with the most iconic one being H2O Delirious. If you have never watched Delirious play Among the Sleep before, then you must have been living under a fucking rock. This game was praised to heaven and back, and it's a game that I have slight nostalgia for, but not too much. I was so dumb back then that I could barely get out of the fucking house. Yes, the house that takes like 5 minutes to finish. However, is this game still the iconic masterpiece that it used to be? Well, let's find out. The story starts off with a little boy celebrating his second birthday with his mom. His mom seems like a sweet woman trying to raise her son on her own, as the father doesn't seem to be there. She's feeding him some delicious cake until someone knocks on the door. If you listen closely, you could hear arguing and then a loud "No!" No! The mom comes back and she has a present with her, probably from the person who knocked on the door. However, she says that she got it for him herself. She takes him back up to his room to open his present, but she has something important to do, so the kid opens it by himself. The present is empty, however, and the kid looks around to find something hiding in his treasure chest, and that something is his present, a talking teddy bear. Like an actual sentient talking teddy bear. He's a very wholesome bear, innocent and cheerful, very childlike, if I may say.
My name is Teddy. Nice to meet you. Hey, what's your name? Wow. Is that a music box? Does it work? 5 thirsty animals upon a dry, dry hill. We could use a drink, they sang and started to drill. Unless we reach water with our newly dug well, I think we'll have to bid each other fare thee well. Round and round and round.
But then Teddy says he wants to hide in the closet with the kid, and we find out that he glows in the dark. And in this closet, there are a bunch of raincoats and black goo on the floor. And then Mom finds the kid.
You've got to stop hiding from Mommy.
The kid falls asleep in his crib, but then in the middle of the night, something takes Teddy. An invisible force, it seems. The force also seems to have knocked down the crib, and now the child is looking for Teddy. He finds Teddy trapped in the washing machine, almost drowning, and Teddy says that we need to find the mother. The mom isn't in her bed, however, and there's a slight vision of what appears to be a monster in some parts of the house. But the kid finds a closet, and in this closet he enters some sort of dream world where he sees a memory of his mother. A nice memory. The memory was her giving the child her necklace, which his grandmother gave to his mom.
Look at Mommy's necklace. Can you see our reflection? It's you and me. It used to belong to your grandma.
After this, the kid finds a chute, and when he enters it, it's almost like a nightmare world. But there is a house, and in this house there's a door that might lead to the mother, but it's locked. But it can only open if they put something in this machine, which happens to be the family heirloom that his mom gave him. And lo and behold, the door opened up. Now the child and Teddy have a mission to find all the memories of the child's mother, and that might lead them straight to her. On this journey, the child goes through many hard struggles. The first world that he found was him in the playground. The only way to get to the mom's memory was to find 5 owls hidden around the playground. And when he made it, the memory was of the mom playing the melody machine to the child. The next world was a lot more scarier and had a lot more lore to it. The next world had a slight story to it, where the child needed to find puzzle pieces of a story, a book story. This story contained a woman finding a well. She drinks the water from the well, and she left with her hair looking like a frenzy. And while the child is looking around, we find this, a drawing of what appears to be a person and a baby, with bottles underneath the drawing. Maybe this means something? And not just that, but the woman from the well story is chasing after the child in this world, stopping at nothing to capture him. But the child made it out and found another memory of his mother. This time, it's a storybook that the mother is reading to the child.
Oh, come on. I'm thirsty, said the rabbit. The rabbit cried and cried. She cried so much that her tears filled the bottom of the well.
And now the final world, which appears to be a broken down and distorted version of the child's own house. There's even a distorted music box playing a scary and unsettling lullaby. And there were parts where the child had to go through these sections where these boxes were very close together, holding a beer bottle on the top. And if the child breaks even just one of them, then there's a nasty roar with the child's vision going fuzzy, which happens every time he sees what he thinks is a monster, such as the lady from the story. There are even paintings where there's a man and a woman and a baby, but the woman seems to be sad. The child finds the final memory, which is the mom giving him his favorite toy, the pink elephant. They got the final memory and now it's time to get out of this distorted world. But there's another monster chasing the child, and it's not the well lady this time, but a monster wearing a raincoat. The same raincoats that we saw from the child's closet. The child runs and finally makes it, but the monster grabs him at the last second and hangs him over the dark pit of nothingness. The child clings on to Teddy as hard as he can, but Teddy's arm breaks, and the child falls to the pit of darkness. In this darkness, the child sees his mother, and his mother is acting off, saying things like, "Not now, not now."
Not now. Not now.
And then the child sees this. The mom drank a beer bottle, and then a flash of the well lady showed up. The mother's acting very hostile to the poor child, which makes the monsters come out of nowhere, such as this.
Sweetie, be quiet now. Mommy had a
Please go somewhere else. Oh, just one more.
And the mother says this.
Will not take you from me.
If you can't breathe and do what Mommy says, I'm going to be very angry. None of us want that.
The child makes it to the house and puts the final memory in the machine. It then takes him not to another dream world, but to his own house once again. However, the house is a complete mess, with the child's toys and things all over the floor of the entire house. But there are some things from the dream worlds as well, like the owls, the moon, and the sun, the puzzle pieces for the story, the rocking horse from the playground, almost everything. The child makes it to the kitchen and finds his mother with Teddy in her hand, Teddy's arm still ripped off. She also has a bottle in her hand which rolls off to the other end of the room. The child tries to take Teddy back and the mother does this.
Stay away from me! I'm sorry. I never meant to. It's too much.
The child comforts the mother even after what she did, but there's someone knocking on the door. The child opens the door and there is a man. He asks if the child liked this gift.
Hi there, little one. Come here. Did you like your gift? What happened to his arm? Don't worry, we'll fix him up.
This is assumed to be the father of the child, and then the game ends. This game's story was a story that I don't think any of us expected when playing it. We thought it was another Save the Mother video game, but instead it tells a tragic story about a 2-year-old child being abused by his alcoholic mother. The signs were all there, but it wasn't until the end when all the pieces of the puzzle finally came together. It is also assumed that the bear that was with the child the whole time, Teddy, is actually supposed to symbolize the father of the child. The father seemed to be a sparkling ray of hope for the child, something that his mother sadly never was. Teddy protected the child the whole way through and was filled with happiness everywhere he went. This is probably what the child envisioned how his father would be. This story is beautifully told, and the near perfection foreshadowing leading to the events that would happen is incredible. The story is pretty straightforward and never really felt vague. It let you know ever since the beginning that something was wrong within the household of the child, and the ending perfectly encapsulates the child's life. The whole game is what the child felt like every single day, trying to hide and run away from the scary monster, and that turned out to be the person who was supposed to love and care for him. His own mother. This child's story is fantastic and deep in a way that most horror games don't really try to do nowadays. I love this game's story and I love how the ending is a symbol of hope for the child, that the father will help the child escape his nightmare and instead finally be cared for. It was, in my opinion, a masterpiece. The visuals for this game are extremely unique, if I may say. This game tries to use its visuals in a very imaginative way, a way that would make perfect sense with the game. What I mean by imaginative is that this game tries to look like a toddler's nightmare. If you could think about a nightmare that a child or a toddler would have, what would it be? Well, I bet that this game has at least one of your ideas in this bitch. Before we get into the scary shit real quick, let's look at the normal shit. The models in this game don't look the best, but they look pretty decent. I think it's the environment in this game that really makes it great and amazing to look at. Look at the child's room, for example. It's so bright and colorful. Children's toys from a choo-choo train to a pink elephant. This room is paradise for any toddler. But then when the night came and the child enters the dream world, everything changes. First of all, this place. This place looks like something pulled straight out of Stranger Things, and there are some childish elements in there, like a swing. It's there to let you know that while this is scary, this is also supposed to be in the mind of a toddler, a child who doesn't understand the things he sees very well. Even the monsters in this game look very abnormal, which helps with the childish imagination that this game is trying to go for. Like if I was 4 and I saw this fucking thing, that shit would be in my nightmares as well. But back again to the environments. The park is not exactly the scariest thing ever, but it has an atmosphere that feels very eerie and abandoned. There is nothing in this place. No children, no parents, not even any actual monsters. This place keeps the same creepy vibe all the way, making you feel like something is gonna come any second now, but it never does, and that's the genius of it. And then we got the forest, which has the same vibe as the park, but now there's a terrifying monster lady looking for you, which adds extra tension, and the woman matches the environment very well. I love how there are drawers on the trees that the child can like pull out so he can climb. Like, of course a child would think of this. And then we got the final area in this game, and wow. This is perfect. It's basically a distorted and twisted version of the child's own house. I can't tell you the amount of times as a kid that I had a dream about my house. Maybe not distorted and the such, but definitely creepy, you know? Like almost completely dark, and it's hard to see anything unless it's right in front of you, and that's what the game does greatly. And of course, the child has to find a moon and sun toy to open up the doors in this place. It's perfect. And the monster of this world is a raincoat monster, which is amazing. I was always scared of coats and fucking dark-ass closets as a kid, so this is like my nightmare from my childhood coming back to haunt me. I love it. And throughout the game, there are these paintings that is assumed to be made by the child, and they are creepy. They look very primitive and unexperienced, which is great. There are even these things in the walls in the game made with chalk. I love the visuals of this game. I can't believe how perfectly they captured the artistic style of a child's view of the world. And then we got the soundtrack, and it's pretty great. The Mom's Lullaby is iconic. It's literally the first thing I think of when I think of this game. The playground is fucking creepy, like holy shit, man. And then there is Memory Returns, which is a perfect mix of ambiance and music. This game is mostly ambiance, but hot damn is it perfect. The presentation of this game was perfect. I couldn't ask for anything better. The gameplay of Among the Sleep is very simple. Almost anyone can pick up this game and play it pretty well. It's a first-person puzzle exploration game, meaning there is no shooting, no platforming, just walking around a very fucking scary environment, solving puzzles to go into the next creepy-ass environment. This game is also really goddamn short, only lasting me an hour and a half. Now, I knew this game was gonna be short, but holy fuck, this game is short! Shorter than Little Nightmares, which is insane to me. However, I am happy to say that this game is very fun for the short playtime. This game isn't a boring fest like Little Nightmares. This game is fun, and most of the fun comes from exploring the environments that you come across, whether it's a dark and moody playground, or a foggy forest with a crazy hair bitch looking for you, or a distorted house full of unusual shit that makes no sense but still feels cohesive in a weird way. The story and the visuals really kept me playing because the gameplay is very simple, which means it doesn't take much skill or brain power. The puzzles are mostly find the thing that fits into this and keep walking until you come across another one of these puzzles. However, I like the way you get these necessary key items, like the owls in the playground. Exploring this creepy ass playground was a lot of fun, and there were no monsters at all, but you still felt uneasy and susceptible to jump scares. There's even this part where you go into a shed and the door closes behind you. I jumped a little, and that made me even more paranoid than I already was. The forest was also really fun. I thought looking for the keys to the gates was great, and the crazy hair bitch has definitely jump scared me a hefty amount of times. However, the distorted house was really great. The monster was scarier in my opinion, and exploring this place to find the sun and moon toy was really fun. I don't really got much to say except the controls. Let's talk about that. So in a first-person exploration game, the controls are probably the most important thing to the whole experience. Since think about it, you're basically gonna be walking and running the whole goddamn time and nothing else. So in this game's case, I think the controls are actually kind of great. The child's walk is not too slow, but not too fast. But it's way faster to crawl, which I just find so cute because you're a little 2-year-old toddler. I love it. I also love how you can look at yourself. Look how tiny his little feet are. But you can also run if crawling isn't your cup of tea. However, if you run for even 5 seconds, your ass will switch to crawl mode, which can get very fucking annoying. Running in this game is a bitch that no one wants to go through, which is the reason why I either walk or crawl. But overall, the controls are not that bad, and I definitely don't have any problems with it. As for the side content that you can do if you thought the game was too short, you basically only got one thing to do, and that's to find the secret paintings left around the game made by the 2-year-old protagonist. These are not only fun to search around for, but they give a lot of amazing lore pieces if you're into that like me. This game does good at what it's supposed to do, but I think the other aspects of the game, like the story and the presentation, really brought it up. It's decently controlled and is great at what it tries to do, but it's not exactly special. This game is a masterful work of art. It may be an indie game, but it has a style to it that no other game has. The story is very tragic and beautifully told, with a perfect conclusion that needs no sequel in my opinion. The visuals are also really unique and perfectly capture the mind of a toddler. The soundtrack is eerie ambiance that would scare any child playing this game. But the game is very simple and requires almost no skill. I feel like any person who's never played a video game before can definitely pick this one up. Not to mention that it only took me an hour and 30 minutes to beat it. But the story and presentation was wonderful. And for that, I have to give this game a 9 out of 10.
So Among the Sleep is honestly an indie masterpiece, but now we gotta pick another game. So what is it gonna be? Maybe Miles Morales? Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.